What's up everybody, it's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another renovation video. So, today I'm furnishing this house that was made for me by Gargamel. So, I kind of explain. So, Gargamel, as some of y'all may know, he made me this world called Pumpkin Spice. I looked at it last month in December. It was a world that was literally made for me. Like, he went out his way and made me a whole entire Sims 3 world, which was so cool. So, he also, of course, made all the lots, but he also made certain lots for me to work on for, like, videos or streams or whatever. So, this is one of the houses that was made for me. I'm really just editing it a little bit for tonight's stream. So, as some of you may already know, I am doing this challenge on Twitch. It's called the Jam Legacy. It's kind of like the Not So Berry, but instead of it being around colors, it's more so centered around jam, and it's a lot harder than Not So Berry in my opinion. But I'm currently on the orange generation. If you saw my video from last week where I did the futuristic wedding venue, this is basically for that family, but I guess as a little bit of an update for that challenge. In that video, I was telling y'all that I was trying to get my Sims married. Well, let's just say the wife died, so now my Sim is a widower. So yeah, that is currently what's going on over there. There's a lot of stuff that happens on Twitch, and I kind of feel like I've been doing so much building for this family alone because the rules for this generation state that you have to move 3 different times. So the whole thing about this generation is that you're kind of like risky, you're doing risky things, you're kind of like switching things up a lot, just doing different stuff altogether. So you have to move 3 times in your lifetime. So this is basically going to be the last house that we move in. So I knew that I wanted to use this house eventually for something, so I was like, why don't we just kind of use it for the challenge, So I'm kind of just like renovating a lot of stuff. As you can see, I'm just like, I got rid of like the side porch on the side of the house. I also changed the front porch as well. Honestly, right now it's just me doing like a lot of like changing, just putting my little CJ vibe and spin on everything, I will say though, y'all, that this challenge has been a lot of fun to do. So this house ended up being a 6-bedroom house. 6-bedroom, I don't even know how many bathrooms. It's enough, okay? It took me all day to work on this house, y'all. I think I started on this build around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't finish till like 4 in the afternoon. So it took me like a while, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So if you want to watch the world overview for Pumpkin Spice, I can leave it linked down below, but it's kind of like a rural world. Think of like Appaloosa Plains. It's kind of like a world like that. It's kind of right up my alley because I love worlds like that anyway. Yeah, so I knew that I wanted this house to kind of like, fit in with the vibe. This is honestly going to be our 3rd house anyway. So all of our houses kind of fit the same vibe. It's more like a rustic, like maybe not quite ranch style home, but just kind of has like some ranch inspiration here and there, And also this generation is the orange generation, so it kind of works well with the color scheme and the aesthetic, So prepare to see a lot of orange in the house. It's not like tacky, at least not in my opinion. It's kind of tasteful, but there is going to be a lot of orange, Also, I didn't really realize there's not that many windows outside of the house. Like we have these that you're looking at right now, but honestly, the way that the house is shaped, I didn't really put a lot of windows on the front of the house. We mostly have some on the sides of the house and stuff. I didn't really do much for the backyard either. I did put like a bot machine because I have a Sim, his name is Patriot, and he makes robots. He's gonna have like a robot army, We're kind of moving on the inside of the build now, and I debated on if I wanted to show y'all my thought process with the floor plan because floor plans can be kind of hard, But I was like, maybe if I show y'all my thought process, it might help you out in the future, I think of floor plans like puzzles. Like I just want everything to fit and I want everything to kind of make sense. So yeah, this house ended up being a 6-bedroom house. We have a lot of Sims in our house, okay? So we have my Sim Marshall, he's the heir. So this generation, like I said earlier, is about being risky and stuff. So his thing, we have to like do like a lot of risky behavior in the game. So I have a lot of cow plants. You'll see them in the build, but there's also other things you can do, like walk on hot coals, or you can streak and stuff like that. So I have him doing a lot of crazy stuff, And then we also have his daughter. His daughter's name is Clementine because, Clementine is kind of like an orange in a way. It's like a fruit. So she may be the heir for the next generation. I kind of want to wait until I have one more baby just to see, but she's most likely going to be the heir. She's currently a kid, so she'll be a teen probably tonight on stream, probably. So she might be the heir. I'm not too for sure yet. So Marshall had a wife, her name is Jacqueline. So last week when I played this series, there's a lot of drama on my stream, But long story short, one of my plum bots hated the other plum bot, and they tried to set them on fire when they were in their little charging pod. Come to find out, you're not supposed to do that because the game doesn't really know what to do. Like the sim won't react to being on fire like they should. So I had to like reset the lot. And when I did that, the game treated my family as if they came out of the time machine because we were in the future at the time. So that ended up making my sim Jacqueline, it ended up giving her time sickness. So if you don't know, anytime you use the time machine, there's like a small chance you'll get time sickness. Usually you can fix it by, you know, going to a hospital, but I had never seen the death type before in The Sims 3, so I needed to see what it was about, okay? Like, I needed to know. So she ended up dying. So last night on stream, I was like, yeah, chat, you know, there's a way where we can kind of bring her back to life, you know? And we used the Door of Life and Death. If you don't know, that's like a separate Sims 3 object. It's from the Sims 3 store. It's like this door object, and you can basically bring a tombstone, and you can have your sim get resurrected. But it's kind of interesting because if you have the pets pack installed, your sim may not come back as a baby. They may come back as a dog or a cat. So that's kind of what I was hoping for with Jacqueline, because I wanted Marshall to get remarried anyway, so I was kind of hoping that she would be a pet. But no, she ended up becoming a baby boy. So we had to change the name from Jacqueline to Jackie. But yeah, so now Marshall is basically raising his deceased wife. It's a lot. Sims can get kind of weird when you think about it, especially in The Sims 4 now, because we have life and death, and then you can have your Sims get reborn. So it kind of gets weird when you think about it a little bit. But yeah, so we have Jackie. So I had to give Jackie a room upstairs somewhere. But I do plan to get Marshall remarried to another Sim that I have to literally make right after I finish doing this video. So needless to say, I've been doing a lot of building for this family. This family keeps me busy, y'all. If you want to see any of the craziness, I do stream over on Twitch. So my Twitch name is Seekingly. It is the same name as my Origin ID or EA ID now. I could put it up on the screen if you want to see it, but I'll leave a link to my Twitch down below like I always do. And then if you can't make a stream, don't worry, because I do have a second YouTube channel. And then for the second YouTube channel, it's just called CJ Replays. It's one word. And I'll leave a link to that. That's where I post all of my Twitch streams anyway. So if you just want to watch the whole playlist of the Jam Legacy thus far, feel free to. Just know that they are not edited. So they're going to be like 4-hour-long videos. I know some of you have told me in the past that you use me as background noise, so if you ever need more background noise, you know, I got you covered, because I do a lot of yapping. It's so bad, honestly, that sometimes people have to be like, hey, okay, CJ, like, this is becoming a podcast, can we go ahead and get to some gameplay? So yeah, I do a lot of yapping, so if you ever want more yap sessions from CJ, just put it on stream, okay? Speaking of yapping, I kind of talked over the whole entire living room, but this is basically what it looks like. I put a fireplace down here. I put a charging pad because we have 2 plumb bots in the household, so I felt like I needed like charging stations, you know, here and there and stuff. The second room that we're going to furnish is the home office, so I knew I wanted to have a home office somewhere. I don't know why, but I just like having them in my sim builds because you never know when you might need the computer for something. You know, maybe checking a dating profile, maybe you got to build a skill, maybe you have to do something else, you know? So I always like to have a computer, or at least if not like an office, I like to at least have a computer in all of my sim builds, you know? So this is just going to be the home office. It's not too much to talk about, honestly. I tried to make it look nice. I'm using those same curtains. I honestly use these curtains like in just about every single room. So get used to seeing them because they're going to show up a lot. But I wanted to use that really long bookshelf from Roaring Heights. I'm also using this plant from the Sims 3 store. I found this really nice chair from, I forgot what set. I think it's the Frontier Fine set on the Sims 3 store. I ended up putting that in here, and then there's like a matching like regular chair, so I put that in here too. I was really just trying to make the room like kind of cozy, and you know, I wanted this to be orange, but I didn't want this to be like super bright neon orange. So I think the color scheme looks pretty good in the end. It's more like a relaxing, cozy. Like this house honestly reminds me of fall time. If this was fall time, this would have been like the perfect fall bill, in my opinion. All right, so moving on now, we are in Marshall's room. So he's going to be an elder. Like, okay, so when I'm playing this challenge, I play it on normal lifespan. So my Sims age up, I don't want to say like really fast, but they age up faster than like, you know, some Sims in my other save files. So Marshall is going to be an elder in, I think, like 2 days, 3 days. I might have him eat like a life fruit or something so he can be like 1 day older, because I want to get him married to a Sim, but I have to make the Sim first, obviously. But I want him to like at least get married and enjoy being married and stuff like that before he gets too old. But as of now, though, he's almost an elder. So I knew I wanted to give him like a room downstairs. I really wanted to kind of follow that, like, you know, rural, rustic kind of vibe. So I gave him the dresser from the movie stuff pack. He has, of course, his cow print rug and his like cowboy themed bed sheets. I feel like, okay, so normally my Sim families have, you know, pets and stuff like that, but I have a pet ban on Twitch, which means like my Twitch chat, they restricted me from having any pets in my game because my pets always get taken away. But listen, it's not because I don't take care of, well, technically it is because I don't take care of them, but it's not because I don't want to. It's because when I'm talking in chat sometime, or I'll get distracted with something on stream and I forget. Okay, it happens, you know. So basically my Twitch chat has had enough of that, so they were like, no CJ, you cannot have any pets. So like a lot of people in my Twitch chat, like I have like a reward where you can like redeem it with channel points, so a lot of people redeemed it. So I had like 4 generations of like pet bans. So I think I think this might be the last generation, and I think the next generation I can start having animals again. So it kind of sucks though, because I would have loved for Marshall to be able to get a horse, because like he gives off like rancher vibes to me, and I feel like a horse would have been like the perfect thing for him to have, but like couldn't do it. But it's kind of okay though, because like, you know, his ancestors had horses, like generation 3 had a horse, you know, so you know, at least somebody in the family had one. But it just kind of sucked though, because like he has all this like cowboy type like stuff in his room, and I would have loved for him to have one. It's okay, because next generation, maybe Clementine might have one, you never know. But anyway, as you can see, I am furnishing his ensuite bathroom, so I'm using the Pets Pack. The Pets Pack always comes in clutch with builds like this, because the items were literally built in this style. So we're using the tub, we're using the toilet, we're gonna use one of the countertops in here too. And I kind of wish, like whenever I do bathrooms in The Sims 3, I always wish that they would have given us more bathroom sinks, because a lot of the sinks in The Sims 3 are used for kitchens in my opinion, and not really bathrooms. So I kind of always end up using the same bathroom sink everywhere, because there's just not that many different options. I feel like that's also a Sims 4 issue, because like we have more, but a lot of the sinks in The Sims 4 are like kitchen sinks and not so much bathroom sinks. I don't know, maybe one day we'll get like an update for that or something, I don't know. But moving on, we are in the kitchen, which I love the way the kitchen turned out, y'all. So I'm also using the same Pets countertops, but I'm also having a couple accent walls in here. So I knew that I wanted to use this stone wall in here, so I'm using it over here in the kitchen. I'm also going to use it by the dining table, and I also put like an island counter in the kitchen. There's gonna be potentially 6, probably even 7 Sims in this household eventually, because if Marshall gets married, that's gonna be like another one. So well, yeah, it'll be her, and then it'll be like, if they have a baby, it'll be like 7 Sims. So I knew that I needed like a lot of space in this house and also in the kitchen for everyone to sit down. So I put a couple island counters. I think there's like 4 seats at the island counter, and then I also used a really long table from the Supernatural pack. It's the one that looks like a tree, or it's like the wooden one. I don't ever use that one ever. Mostly, y'all know when I use like dining tables in the game, I'm usually using the one from the Pets Pack. So this time I decided to switch it up a little bit. So I'm using the really long one from Supernatural. I did use the chairs that come with the Pets Pack though. Okay, so you still see a little bit of Pets inspiration. If you had to ask me like what is my favorite pack just based on like build objects, it would probably be the Pets Pack, because I use these items the most, I would say, especially for builds like this, because like we're in a rural world anyway, so like it just kind of makes sense to use stuff like this, you know. But I'm using that really long table in the corner, and then I was trying to figure out like what else to put in here. So eventually I did put an island counter. It took me a while to kind of get it how I wanted it to be. I wanted to make sure that I use the trash can. Usually when I build in The Sims, I forget something. Sometimes it's stoves or fridges, or it'll just be the trash can. So I tried to make sure I had everything I needed. So as of now, I'm really just trying to angle this island countertop. It took me a while because I wanted that little corner piece to not hang over the line. So it took me a while to get it, but eventually I got it like I liked it. I also used a china cabinet in here too, just to kind of, you know, fill in some more space. I love the way the kitchen turned out, y'all. It looks so cozy. So there was also some extra space in the kitchen, so I'm using the space to kind of make it into a bathroom, because like so far we only really have a bathroom in Marshall's room, and you know, I feel like if this was real life, you may not want people to go in your bedroom to use the bathroom all the time if you have like company over. So I wanted to like at least give the family at least one general bathroom downstairs. So it's this one by the kitchen, which I'm not crazy about, because like in real life I would not want my kitchen and my bathroom close together, because like, you know, smells and stuff. Luckily we don't have to worry about that in The Sims, so at least we have a bathroom down here. So now we move on to a room for one of my plumbots. So this plumbot's name is Patriot. He showed up in my Leprosy that I did a couple years ago on Twitch. Again, the Leprosy is on the second channel if you want to watch it, but he shows up in The Last Generation. It's a lot of backstory and lore, you know, but long story short, he's very anti-human, very pro-robot, so yeah, it's a lot with that. Basically, his mom, she went to the future and she had like a really bad experience because robots were being weird, and like she just hated being in the future, so she made a robot to kind of basically just be against robots. It sounds stupid, but trust me, it's a lot of lore. So his color scheme is red, white, and blue, and he does a lot of protesting in my save files and stuff like that. So I made sure to give him like a lot of like protesting objects. So you'll see it. I gave him like the little podium where you can give speeches at. I also gave him a megaphone. I gave him like a little computer desk so he can like do his little work and stuff like that. I gave him the futuristic computer. He had like this extra space. Now, if you download this house and you want to make this into like a bedroom, you could potentially make this into an ensuite because like there's like a room right here attached to it. But for me, I was like, maybe I could just give him a like walk-in closet, so to speak, and then he could just kind of like charge in there. I also gave him a dry erase board. We have some protesting signs that he made. There's also like some little street art kits too, because he's like, you know, making the signs and stuff like that. The color scheme in here, as you can see, is very red, white, and blue. There's also some stars. And also too, I did give him a rug down below as well. I just wish that his room was a little bit bigger. I didn't really want him to have a huge room anyway, because like I wanted at least my heir to have a bigger room, you know? I had to like squeeze a lot of stuff in here, and I had to turn off move objects too. So I was able to also squeeze in a broadcaster station so he can, you know, do podcast and, you know, run advertisements and stuff like that and get the message out. He's also building a robot army, by the way. I didn't mention that, but he's built a couple of different robots. So I feel like he probably uses the broadcasting station to kind of like, you know, reinforce his ideals, get the message out for people that are like-minded like him, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Well, anyway, now we're upstairs. I didn't really know what to do up here. I knew I had to put bedrooms up here, but I didn't really know what to do about like the hallway space because the hallway was so long. So I kind of broke it up a little bit. As you'll see, we have this archway here. We have like the first bedroom. So for the first bedroom, it's going to most likely be Jackie's nursery anyway, because he's still a baby. When he ages up, I think I'm going to move him to the other bedroom that's down the hallway. But for Jackie's bedroom, I wanted this one to kind of mirror the second house's nursery. So for my second house, I had like a nursery and it was kind of like a more like beige cowboy themed nursery. So that's kind of what I wanted for this one. Instead of it being beige, it's more orangey, but I used the same tree, the same crib. I even put up a couple of those wanted pictures that you see from the movie stuff pack. So I have a couple of those in here. There's a rocking chair, a changing table, which honestly, y'all, I love the changing table in The Sims 3. I feel like the changing table is one of those objects where it's better to just not use it, because like your Sims can change diapers like on the spot, and it also takes a lot less time to do. But I just love the changing table. I think it's because it's just like a piece of furniture and it looks nice and it is functional. But honestly, the changing table, you know, Sims they rarely ever use it on their own. I think you have to like tell them to usually do it, and usually by the time I tell a Sim to go use a changing table, they would have already changed the baby or toddler's diaper anyways. Have any of y'all ever noticed that? Like, it takes a lot less time just to do it just the old-fashioned way versus using a changing table, you know? But I always use them in my nurseries because, you know, I like how much space they take up, you know? But that's pretty much everything for Jackie's room. But now we move on to my second plumbot. So my second plumbot's name is Woke. So listen, there's a lot of lore. Basically, Marshall was more so siding with Patriot, and then Jacqueline, who is Marshall's wife, sides more with Wokebot. So she made Wokebot, but, you know, Jacqueline is dead now. But Wokebot is basically everything that Patriot is not. So where Patriot is only like trying to like make everything about robots, you know, or plumbots, Wokebot is more so just trying to, you know, promote everybody. They stand for inclusion, diversity, all that kind of stuff. So they bump heads a lot. If you look at my streams, they fight a lot. Like Patriot and Woke do not get along at all. They fight. It's always on site. I knew that I wanted to kind of give Woke her own space, so I gave her like a charging pad. Again, plumbots don't really need that much stuff anyway, so I gave her a charging pad. She has a desk in her room. There's like some different flags and stuff like that too. So, you know, her room is just a nice safe space, you know. Moving on, I didn't really know what to do with this little hallway section, so I drew a wall to kind of make it a little bit smaller. This is more so just like a chill space. I would imagine that the kids are going to just hang out up here a lot. So I gave them a really big TV. It's kind of older, but it's a really big TV. There's a little coffee table with a game console. There's a foosball table, and then I was just trying to put up some plants and stuff just to kind of like fill in the space some, because I did not know what to really do in this hallway, y'all. Like, sometimes for these hallways, I'm like, what do you put? Like a computer desk? Like, I don't know. So I was like, maybe we can have like a little gaming area that would be for the best. You know, they can just kind of come up here and chill. I was going to put a bookshelf, but there is a bookshelf not far. So, you know, at least if you want to come up here and read, you can do that kind of thing, you know. Just know that it's very orange, and I do like the vibe, you know. It's kind of giving like basement vibes in a way, but it's really nice. The next room that we furnish is going to be Clementine. So Clementine is the oldest child. She most likely will be the heir anyway. So it kind of makes sense though, because like the next generation, you basically, I guess, want to rebel a little bit and you want to make a change in the world. And since she's growing up in a house with two Simbots that basically do protesting a lot, it kind of makes sense. Like I didn't plan for it to be that way, but it kind of just makes sense when you look at the rules. So I would imagine that she's probably influenced by her Plumbot upbringing. I wanted to have her room kind of be like a futuristic kind of room because she spent a good amount of her like toddler years in the future, so I wanted her room to kind of be like a futuristic kind of room, you know. So I gave her like this rocket ship bookshelf. She has the Into the Future desk. She has like the Sims 3 the Future Shock set. She has that as like her chair and her dresser in here. We have this nice science rug down here too. I like her room. Her room kind of reminds me of like the 70s in a way. Like the color scheme is kind of like, I don't know, like that mid-century kind of color scheme, orange and yellow and green and stuff like that. But I really like the way her room turned out. So if you look closely, you'll see like the design of her bed sheet and her curtains are like gears, you know, like Plumbot stuff, you know. So I kind of gave her some like little Plumbot inspiration in her room. She also has an ensuite. So for her ensuite, I wanted to use that futuristic shower. If you don't know, if you have Into the Future, there's this shower that your Sims can stand in front of, and it basically bathes them by using sound waves. And I don't know if this works for kids. I'm gonna have to test this out to make sure, but if not, she's gonna age up really soon in the game anyway, so it'll still work. But yeah, it bathed your Sims with Soundwave. I'm like, that's something that she would definitely like in her bathroom, so I gave her something like that. I also used the same pet counter. I also gave her that modern looking mirror from the base game, and I also put a plant in her bathroom too. And then last but not least, we have this room, which at first this was going to be a bathroom, but then I thought about the fact that I needed extra space for the other baby. So I was like, why don't we just make this into like a generic room? Because I don't really know who's going to be in here. Jackie will most likely be here when he gets older, but I didn't really know at first. So I was like, maybe we could just make this kind of generic until I can figure it out. So I kind of went with the same idea as Clementine's room. It's kind of futuristic in here, but it's more of a muted color scheme because I didn't really know like who's going to be in here. I don't really know much about Jackie, you know, the new Jackie anyway. So I kind of went with a more like muted beige color scheme until I can kind of figure it out. But that's pretty much everything, y'all, for the entire build. So if you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, stick around for the screenshots, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. So bye, y'all. Thanks for watching. Bye.